not to shoot myself down before the video even starts, but like I don't do reacts, okay? I've never really done a react. So this might be bad. this might not be entertaining. I'm going to try my best, okay? All right. So OpTic made content, and OpTic always makes good content. So big shout out to OpTic, of course. You guys probably already follow them, but if you don't, you should. They are rating all the Halo games, S tier, D tier, from best to worst. All the games, even like Spartan Assault and Halo Wars as well, is in this. I listened to this once. I didn't like invest. It was just like a casual listen, right? So this is. So I've seen it, but sort of not. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're gonna watch it. I'm gonna react to it. I'm gonna try not to talk over these guys. So we'll try to like balance it out. I want to listen to their opinions. I think I will end up agreeing with a lot of them, but we'll see. Maybe we'll have some conjecture.
Welcome back, guys, to another video. I'm here with the Halo team. We're looking great. This is the first time I think we've done a video together, right? Like an actual content piece.
First one.
Yep. So we're gonna do a Halo tier list presented by Predator. So let's get right into it. First up,
quick and clean. I like it.
Halo 1.
I'm going A. It's gotta be B.
Yeah, it's top. Whoa. Come on.
You can't put you can't put C and B.
A or S.
He's been swayed right away.
A or S, no lower.
Halo CE in the chat. What do you guys think? Drop it.
Wait, has he played Halo 1?
The campaign was amazing, but like multiplayer for me was just like.
How old were you?
You didn't have any friends.
I was like
with
11.
split screen.
Yeah, I was about to say.
How old's Trippy? Trippy's like what, 23?
I had neighbors. And they
He's
were
young.
He'd be like 5.
This
He would have been
guy's
very
big.
young.
Well, not when it came out, but
This guy's never System Linked.
When did it come out? 2000,
So maybe
2001.
System
When it
Link.
came out.
I mean, I think it's A.
But it's gotta be an A.
Nice, Nick. Nice.
Are
you serious?
Okay, wait.
It's definitely A. I don't think it's S tier, but
Once they say everything they have to say, then I'll share. Okay, Halo CE. A or S is what Fauci says. We got a lot of A's. I like where it is. I like where it's in an A. I think it's in a good spot in A, right? It did a lot. So there's a couple reasons why I wouldn't be able to put it in S. First of all, I sort of missed the boat with Halo CE, especially like the multiplayer side. I was so young. I didn't get to fully appreciate and experience the competitive side of the multiplayer, so that kind of went over my head. Campaign-wise, I thought it was sick, and it was like unprecedented, right? There was nothing like Halo CE when it came out. You had Doom and GoldenEye, and GoldenEye was my childhood. I was a Nintendo kid before an Xbox kid, but that was just like you got maximum aim assist, and you're strafing around. You got one stick for control, and then Halo 1 comes out with like the dual stick control. I'm pretty sure it was like the first to do it, or one of the first, and it was incredible. So you got to give it attention for that. Everything about the game was solid, but from a multiplayer side, it didn't really stick out to me on the multiplayer side. It was like, I think it was like shoehorned in last second. It was still good. There's a competitive community that swears by it. Mad respect to them, but I could never put it in S because just as far as like the in comparison to the other two that they're going to bring up, it's just not as content complete. So I'm going to go with A. GoldenEye was a beastly game.
Campaign's got like, that's I think A. I mean, Halo 2, we got to put that in S.
It's S tier.
This is S tier. Hell yes, it is.
Bro, I used to have to beg my brother to like get time on that.
Halo CE is not the pinnacle of the franchise. There we go. It was big deal, started strong, but not the pinnacle of the franchise. So I wouldn't put an S.
Or like a drink, and I'd be like, yo, what's good, man? You sleep well? And I'm like, I'm standing with my controller, and I'm like,
you can go back to sleep.
The deal is, it's just like, you can play for like 2 hours. I'm just like, don't talk, though. And I'm like, I don't want to talk. It's fine. I hate talking. I'm like, bet. And I'm just playing Team Snipers by myself at like 3 a.m.
Oh, my God.
No bullshit.
I want to say it was during Halo 2 that like I had the bigger brother, or the older brother too, and I think it was during like he'd be playing with the MLG playlist or something. He's like, I'd be on the router, and he's like, pull it, and I like, so I think it did something where like you lag switch.
Seriously?
Tommy's standby? He just
I was like,
yeah, we were having a blast.
I was like 6 or 7 years old. And he's like, just do this thing while I'm playing, and like I'm gonna yell.
Oh my God. Nowadays we got hackers. Back in the day, it was easy, huh? You just wiggle the cable and just stand by the whole freaking game.
Yeah,
I didn't. Okay, so I didn't play Halo 3 online, or sorry, Halo 2 online multiplayer. I missed that boat. I wasn't there for the early Xbox Connect days. What are you guys saying? Did you? So we got mostly S's. I think this is definitely an S tier game. There's no way I could say otherwise. I think like I remember when the game came out and my dad saw it in like the newspaper because it was like unprecedented, the sales for the game. Like this was when the Halo franchise really started popping. I think it sold like something like 6 million. I might just be pulling numbers out my ass, but like 6 million like on launch day or something crazy. And it was in the newspaper. And then when I played the game, that was the multiplayer that got me hooked. Like mechanically, I think the gun mechanics in Halo 2, there's no other Halo game that can match just the gun mechanics, like the speed of the weapon switch. Everything is so like responsive and feels so flawless. And then you got the double shot, then you got the BXR, just like the core multiplayer gameplay, so sick. I still remember my old emblem too, the Triforce. That's when I started repping the little Triforce symbol. When I played multiplayer, I used to do like little basement lands as a kid with friends and stuff, and I would have like the little emblem. Just everything about that game was fun. Super bouncing. My God. And the campaign was sick too. Honestly, I think the campaign I liked more than Halo 1. Like they upped the ante on everything. Like more environments, more vehicles. You could use the sword. You could use more weapons. Like everything was better.
Halo 3 is literally, it's got to be like in front of Halo 2.
All S tier. And I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad to see CE in S tier, but I think because the other two are so good that they deserve their own tier.
Dude, co-op campaign online was like a game changer.
Yeah.
Like that's what I did the first time.
Hated the ending. Yeah, the ending was like super abrupt or something, right? We're going back. We're going back. Halo 2 maps. Yeah, dude. That was the start of coagulation, right? Halo 2 coag, and why am I blanking? Lockout. Oh my God, dude! Lockout was such a sick map.
It's gotta be like in front of Halo 2
and Sank and midship.
It's gotta be like in front of Halo 2 and
okay, this is H3. Okay, good.
I think that's the best Halo of all time right there.
I mean, it just has the full package,
dude.
Yeah. Right out the gate, full package.
Co-op campaign,
matchmaking,
dude. Co-op campaign online was like a game changer.
Yeah.
Like that's what I did the first night of the game.
Yeah.
Dude, file share.
File share,
just get to see everything.
Bro, you know how they had like the community file share?
Yeah.
Still something I haven't seen in any video game ever. Like
that was dope, dude. The file share was so sick.
I remember
so cool.
I remember always like every week I was excited to like see what new like because like Bungie always had like the top of the week like pictures and stuff like that.
I'm getting like low key emotional. I feel my eyes like watering like just listening to these guys talk about this.
Like every week I was excited to like see what new like because like Bungie always had like the top of the week like pictures and stuff like that too and like. Community maps and game types.
It'd be like an elite with like bunny ears over a grunt. And it was like so like it was just so cool.
I remember people would go into Forge and put Spartan lasers down and then make the put the lights in to make the pictures.
Yeah, right. It's real creative.
Okay, but those photos were like wrong though, dude. Do you guys remember what people actually made with the Spartan lasers? Like I remember looking at file share and just somebody would make like the largest dick you like ever seen constructed out of Spartan lasers. Like I can't believe some of the shit that I saw, like some just vulgar stuff. It's like art. It's like some abstract art. I don't know, man. That was wild. But the file share was sick though. It's just so content complete. You can't, so I think I agree with everything that they've said so far. I can't really deny it, right? Halo 3 has to take #1 in S tier because there's nothing that can stand up to it as far as like a complete game that everybody like unanimously loved. The campaign was probably my favorite Halo campaign of all time. 4-player co-op, out the box, out the gate, online multiplayer co-op, like insane, just unbelievable. And then the multiplayer was sick. File share, they were pushing the envelope in so many different categories. Forge. Like there was nothing like it in so many different games, and it was all like AAA. Like everything worked well, was consistent. Like I don't know, just they never. There have not been other video games in any category that could really match like what was created on day one with Halo 3.
Real crazy.
Voice chat, proximity chat.
Get it in. Get it going.
If we're going just gameplay though, I wouldn't put Halo 3 there. Like I'd definitely put H2 above Halo 3. I'd put H5 above Halo 3 as far as like my opinions on like just like the game. Like if we're going like competitive multiplayer gameplay, like Halo 2 was a snappier game. I remember the first time I played Halo 3, I wasn't a big fan. Like the moment, because I didn't like take in the full like reality of like all the content and everything that was there. I just like I went from H2 and then on my buddy's Xbox I played multiplayer Halo 3 and at first I was like, oh, I like everything feels so slow. Like the weapon switch feels slow, the BR feels slow. Like it just felt like clunky compared to Halo 2, like at first, but it grows on you.
Right now.
That game was so good.
Get the community stuff going.
The
That's what we
skulls in
need.
the campaign were just so fun.
The skulls, yeah. Everything else.
Too. Forge.
Forge.
Late night customs in Halo 3 were unmatched.
And you could watch
Like
theater
Fat
with
Kid
people.
too.
Yeah, there's no game
Yeah.
launch like any game that can compare to the amount of content and like unprecedented additions in a single game, like Forge time, like ever, even compared to what's out now.
Stupid stuff.
Dude, we never even talked about the clan
Especially.
in Halo 2.
What?
The clan, how you could join clans and whatnot in
yeah.
Halo 2.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
kind of a game changer.
And the ranking system.
That was.
Trying
You
to
could
get
be
on
like an
GTY for the
overlord.
BTB clout.
See, I missed this whole part of Halo's history, and I wish I was a part of it though. But like the online community, Halo 2, no idea. Clan system, Halo 2, I don't know. But that's when all the OG pros came out. Like I think there was, I don't know if there's a story with Elamite. Didn't he used to like charge people for like he would do like 1v1s or something, and like you would have to like pay to play him, and if you beat him he friends you or something like that. Like I don't know, like there's like so much history in Halo 2 online multiplayer
Wait, what?
that I just
BTY?
totally missed.
BTB clout.
Saying is lucid, yeah.
What that was? No.
Yeah.
I was in some clan called Infamous. It was full of hackers.
Look, I got standby hackers on my team now.
I just wanted to be cool with them. 'Cause I wanted to be like,
You didn't want to be the
keep
one
talking
affected.
shit. Because there was proximity chat in Halo 2.
I'll bring my hackers
So I was
on
like,
you.
yeah, enjoy your last game with doubles.
Yeah, Halo 3 MLG was
They would
sick.
be like,
They click your name too.
That's why it's so sick that we got Pocket coming to Kansas City this weekend,
Like,
dude. Bring
yo,
him
my
back.
bad. It was just in game. I'm like, nah, not in game.
So sick.
And be lying.
So honestly, like so many members of that OG Halo community are still very present. Like it's awesome to see Lunchbox sitting right here, center of the table, still part of the the Like I don't know.
This next game was garbage.
Wait. We gotta start with Reach. We gotta
Not that garbage.
Wait.
though. No, not that garbage. Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on. Yeah.
We gotta go.
We're not there yet.
I'm gonna make a case for A.
No, I won't put it there. You can make the case, but
I mean, like, listen, if you knew how to play the game at a top level, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, this is
I
for.
got a few chips on there.
We gotta grab Reach first because that came out after.
Yeah.
Halo
that's
3.
true.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
Halo
we
3
got
ODST
Reach.
is actually. and,
Oh
like,
yeah,
Halo
Halo 3 ODST.
Yeah, I mean that's like what
that's
C is,
literally
like,
D tier.
that's- yeah.
D tier.
Oh, dude, that's so savage that he,
But the campaign's good.
I didn't play
puts that in
I
D
don't think I
tier.
played the campaign in this.
to play it.
Right.
So that's pretty.
I think everyone bought that to get
Historic.
Recon.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, but the game was actually good.
Game was good.
Had a good
I agree with
story.
Lucid here.
You're
All I
saying
remember is
C?
Silent
Tommy's voting for
SMG.
C?
No, I was saying like B.
Whoa.
I would even like A maybe.
What other Halo is gonna be in B tier? Come
Halo
on.
Wars?
Reach.
Halo Reach.
Yeah, that's
Halo
what I mean.
Wars.
Halo Wars is a good
You could
shout.
probably put either.
I think Halo 3 ODST.
You putting ODST in
par
C?
with Halo Wars,
C to B?
in my opinion.
No.
ODST is
way.
A
Come
tier.
on.
Hold on a
I
sec.
didn't
Hold on a
play
sec.
Firefight.
Halo Wars is good, but I'm saying Halo 3 ODST is.
I guess
good.
I did
know
not
how
play
to
it that
campaign.
much.
It's like low A
I take
tier.
I was about to
Tommy's
say,
opinion.
Or high
because
B.
I think the whole like bait was like people were expecting like maybe a new Halo game or like more to come with Halo 3 ODST.
Nah,
That's
they
probably what it
weren't
was.
though.
People
Were
had,
they
like,
really?
Expectations,
It's like
but
an
like
arcade game.
it's
You know
just a
what I'm saying?
campaign.
Yeah.
But they also
Yeah,
had
so it wasn't
Firefight.
like-
They added Firefight with that. That was the first time Firefight was
Yeah.
a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was like their horde mode.
That was the
Like,
Horde
I like
era.
that, though.
But the campaign is still, I think, good enough.
All right, here,
think
I'll take your
so,
word
dude.
for it. We
B
can throw it in B
tier?
for now. We'll like.
Okay.
come
This is
back.
like a.
When did ODST come out? 2008, 2009? Was it it might have been 2009. Was the community expecting a full Halo release when that came out? Because I'm pretty sure it was like, before it came out, we knew what we were getting. Like, we're getting campaign, we're getting Firefight. It's a smaller game. ODST was godlike, right? Like, 'cause it did something different than no other Halo had done before. It had like an open world or like a hub world kind of environment. And the way that they told the story was like really interesting. Just the whole like graphical like look and design of it was like really. Was there a BR in the game though? Actually, I might have to drop it from A to B if there was no BR, because there might not have been a BR. But the core gameplay was like Halo 3, but it was like it had like a slick looking like change in design, and I love the way they told the story and the music and like the sax solos that go over it too. And then the Firefight was sick too, right? That came out during the Horde. Nothing touched Gears 2 Horde, by the way. That started it all. I think that was 2008. Gears of War 2 Horde comes out, takes the gaming world by storm, and then every other video game follows suit and does like a wave-based mode. And this was Halo's first like attempt at it. They did a great job with it though. So that the reason why I would say like maybe low A tier or high B is because I feel like everything that they had planned and executed in that game was executed extremely well. It's just the game itself was not large enough to ever put it any higher. Like he would never put it in S because it's like it didn't really even have the full complete offering. But everything that it did offer was like S tier. Just didn't offer enough to be S tier, if that makes sense. So I would say like low A or high B.
come back, but I'm saying I think the campaign
We gotta see
makes
what
up
else.
for
God
it.
tier.
To see if it lives
It's
up.
such a
That's what
good
I'm
game.
saying.
The
We
campaign
gotta
was sick.
compare.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
circle
compare.
back. We'll circle
All right, so I
back.
mean,
All right,
like,
so
Now we gotta
Halo
go
Reach.
It's gotta be C or B.
I love Gears.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
feel
definitely
Gears-
like
not
all the
above.
community.
Gears actually pulled me off of Halo. Halo Reach was when my interest in Halo went whoop, like it just. I didn't play a ton of Halo Reach. I jumped over to Gears 2, Gears 3. I played the hell out of Gears 3. I used to be a Gears guy for a while.
Community
Probably
aspect
be.
of Reach was like still good, but like
Time for the sax solo later.
Yeah.
I don't know,
probably a
or-
C-tier Halo.
No Bloom, no Sprint was decent, but
I love Gears.
Bloom was pretty.
But I mean, like still the custom games, the campaign,
This is
like,
Reach.
everything
Yeah,
about
yeah, the
everything.
campaign was
everything,
bad,
but
wasn't
you're
it?
right.
No,
I
it
never
was actually
played
good.
Was it in
Yeah,
Reach?
the
Oh, I
Reach
never
campaign
played
was
it.
good.
The
I heard
matchmaking
Reach
was
campaign was good.
horrible.
I feel like Reach might have to be the B, and then ODST can go
I mean, I wanted a
down.
couple events.
Yeah.
Reach is definitely B for me.
Hey,
I was gonna say I had a good
Sure.
season.
C for
with
Reach?
so I'm going
I
B.
feel like
Yeah.
casually.
Reach is D.
Reach
Ooh,
was
we got
good.
some savage.
Like,
There's still
uh,
people that like rave about it. To be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
I could see it.
that
No,
love
it
that.
was-
Yeah.
it was not.
Reach is one of the few Halo games that had a community that lasted far beyond the other games. Like there was still people playing Halo Reach at 30 FPS on the Xbox 360 till MCC got Reach. Like there was like a community that was still going strong. I'm pretty sure. And then MCC finally got it and they started to like move over, but you hate Reach so much. Well, so yeah, Reach definitely killed my interest in Halo. Like Halo 3, I liked Halo 3. I was kind of a filthy casual in Halo 3, if I'm being honest. Like I played more of the casual stuff, didn't get too invested in the competitive side. And then Halo Reach was like the bloom plus the sprint. And it's like the way that they implemented the advanced mechanics, they didn't feel good. They were clunky. The map design, like everything about the game just didn't grab me like the other Halos did. And then I was gone. And a few months went by, and then I'm back over to Gears. So I didn't really even get to fully appreciate its evolution because it became a lot better towards the end, right? You had the no bloom, no sprint mode. It was a very full featured game, right? Like if you're comparing it to Halo 3, it's on par as far as like the content offering, right? Like they had a deeper Forge mode. They upgraded a lot of areas. The campaign, I think it wasn't my favorite campaign. Halo 3 had a better campaign, I think, but it was like a bigger story, a more ambitious story, I think, that they had ever done at the time, but I don't know. Wait, Armorlock, right, dude. So it started bad. Some things started kind of bad in that game, I guess, if we're being honest. Thank you, Dark Raider. Welcome, my dude. Oh, the customization. Right, that was sick too. That was better than all the Halo games that came after it, except like maybe Infinite, but Infinite has just got so many. Infinite could be way better. Infinite's customization could definitely beat Reach's, but Reach was like the gold standard for customization until Infinite gets its act together. So I would say Reach is like a low B for me. It's a low B for me. Was what I would say. So I don't disagree with it being B.
It just wasn't great.
Like,
Because I think it got a lot better, and it's still a very full-featured game.
Right.
It's not like
Right,
from
something right
a
there.
Yeah,
overall
Halo Wars too.
perspective,
Halo
it's not
Wars.
like
Dude, I
it's not
think Halo
bad.
Wars
Halo Wars
is
is up
B,
there
in
for
my
me.
Probably could be
Dude, I
B.
never played
It's
Halo
B.
Wars.
It's at
Ever.
least B.
Halo Wars
to me.
is pretty fun.
Did you play it too?
It's
Yeah,
like
I
it's like
RTS?
It's
Hard
yeah,
D.
It's like
It's like
Dota
StarCraft,
is, but it's
basically.
super
Yeah.
simplified.
You're talking about the tier list or something else,
I don't even
Penguin?
know what to compare it really,
So
but
I would say it's like StarCraft.
yeah.
Like
Okay.
it's an RTS.
You control like units, like top down. You're controlling units and whatnot. You create like bases and take over bases, and your goal is to like take over the other person's base.
Okay.
Me and Walsh
You're
ran
Sending grunts
the train.
everywhere.
And
Throw that
Yeah.
in like
You could-
Walsh
you
and,
could
and
like,
Lunchbox, Halo Wars duo, apparently. We don't get to hear much about this storyline, but apparently Lunchbox, Walshy would run matchmaking. Well, I didn't play any Halo Wars, by the way. I don't really have much I can say here.
Yeah,
Grunt,
I would
like,
say that's fair.
unit where it's like hundreds of suicide grunts just running at stuff. It was,
That's pretty cool.
it was
Apparently
so fun.
Lucid has been grinding Halo Wars.
The Warthog Gauss strat was
There was
OP
some
in twos.
crazy. There was like, dude, some people would sweat in that game. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I would always
That
think I
was
was
me.
like good at it, and then like you go in multiplayer and there's like 20 people playing,
What
and then like the
heck?
20 people playing are gods at the game, and they just would you'd
They're just
get run
kicking everyone
over.
off the playlist.
Yeah, like,
Formal's
they
not
wouldn't
having
even-
any of this
It'd always
one.
be like the cheesiest
Who's
strats
that?
too, because like you take your time, you go to like the little side bases, you get a couple little things, you build it up. No, like some of these people would just build up like one unit that's like broken, just push your base and win in like
The
3
Scarab.
minutes.
Wow.
The Scarab was the broken unit in that
Oh my
game, and then
Scarab?
you could get the healers that would just heal your Scarab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it was
That would
almost
be strat.
unkillable. Yeah. It was,
There's like a
it
couple
was
different
tough.
broken things that you could do, but it's like, I was young at the time, so it's like you don't even know how to counterplay against it. You just
Damn.
get ran over.
What about
Halo Wars was bad,
what's
but
the
for
point of
making a
Soul
Halo
Gamer?
RTS
Like,
even
might
work,
as well
it
do-
this was
That's
nice.
gotta go D.
So yeah, I don't know. I didn't play it. I've not played a single game of Halo Wars 1 or 2. It's just not my style of game. I think like I can get kind of picky with like I play FPS, I play fighter game, like a platformer, I guess a little bit, right? Like I was a Nintendo kid for a while, but like RTS I've never gotten into. I've never played any RTS games really. Top down, I'm just like, I don't know. You should. Yeah. Maybe. So from what I've heard, it's not a bad game. So I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's unfair that they put it in B. I think like B might actually, just based off of what I heard that it was solid. Same with Halo Wars 2. I'm a straight shooter. I don't really shoot that straight.
I played like 5 minutes of it.
I'm a simple guy. RTS is just, it just seems like,
almost like I said, it's like
I like to be very invested. I like power trip games. I think that's it. I like to be like, you know, like a superhuman or something, like capable of or having like just a lot of control over the one character. You can move really quickly. You can do a lot of action. I feel like I'm butchering my explanation of this, but just the idea of like controlling troops from above is not as exciting as just being like a super soldier.
Top down, like point and click. Like you don't even really play the game. You just kind of like move.
It's a game you don't even play.
Oh, is it Spartan Assault?
And, like your Spartan shoots, I think. I don't even remember.
Just have it on your phone for it.
Wait, so Spartan Assault has different versions of the game, right? There's a mobile version of Spartan Assault where like Lucid is saying, where I think you like point and click. But there's a Xbox 360 version of the game that was like dual stick top-down shooter, I think. I played it for all of like 15 minutes. Power Fantasy Guy. That's it. Thank you, Penguin. Wasn't made by the AOE team. Are we talking about Spartan Assault? So yeah, like Spartan Assault was like your twin stick top-down shooter. It was like, it was a... I don't know. I don't think D is unfair. Honestly, it wasn't much of a game.
Like I said, it was basically a mobile game.
It's on mobile and 360. There you go. Yeah.
Two out of the way. That's D tier. I feel like D or C.
I don't think it's
It probably wasn't even that bad, but it's just so.
Saying it was better than Halo Wars.
I don't know. Anyway.
No.
I swear to God,
Really?
my chat was co-signing.
I guess I didn't play it
I
that
didn't
much.
play it.
I played Halo Wars.
I heard Halo Wars 2 was good.
That's about what I
They said it
was
was basically just more of what it was, but better. Like it's
Yeah.
just more
So
stuff.
C
to
tier?
it.
Yeah, it can't be B. It's gotta
Then
be
we should
C,
move
then.
Halo Wars.
No, I think it
down,
has to be B.
Oh, you think?
I
Maybe
think it
just
has to be
right-
next to Halo Wars 1.
Yeah,
yeah.
People in
Alright.
the chat were literally saying
Okay.
it's better.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna take the word for it.
Okay.
We'll take the
down for
community.
that.
We'll take the
Alright.
community's respect.
Halo 4 is in D.
It's got to be
Yeah,
D.
it's definitely
easy
D.
D.
Yeah, really
We don't have to
simple
talk
game,
about
right,
it.
Shadow? Like it's like it's not bad. A Spartan Assault. It's just like simple, straightforward couch co-op. Like if you want to just maybe shut your brain off and just like spin the sticks around and shoot some grunts or whatever. Like there you go. It gives you exactly what you'd expect. So it's not like probably not fair to say D because it's like. But anyway. It's an insignificant game to worry about. Halo Wars 2, sure, we're going to keep it there. And then Halo 4, here we go.
I mean,
Is there a tier below
They
D?
still had, again,
Under
like
D?
no.
No.
Where it was like,
Wait, hold up. Let me
respect.
listen to this.
Move Halo
No,
Wars
I think it
down.
has to be B.
Oh, you think?
I
Maybe
think it
just
has to be
right-
next to Halo Wars 1.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
People
it
in the
was.
chat were literally saying
Okay.
it's better.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna take the word for it.
Okay.
We'll take the community. We'll take the
Yeah, I'm
community's
down for the
respect.
Halo 4 chat.
Halo 4 is in D.
It's got to be
Yeah,
D.
it's definitely
easy
D.
D.
We don't even have to talk about
Easy
it.
D.
I mean,
Default.
they still had again. It was like almost.
Mac, thank
It
you.
was actually worse than Reach.
It was
for,
worse,
like,
bro.
the feel of the game was not that
it was
good.
a-
The non-D scope,
bro, you
there
could
was
just stay zoomed in.
Yeah.
there was no skill
Yeah.
gap. I feel
So
like, for very
faded,
little,
dude.
like the sniper maybe, but
But we also we
Yeah.
gotta
Even
not
tonight.
Oh, yeah, there's
always
no
be on the skill gap, with these tier lists.
Yeah.
We gotta
Oh,
include the
true.
casual aspect to it.
that's
Well,
true.
apparently the campaign was.
Yeah,
good
the
in
campaign
Halo
was pretty good.
Apparently.
Was it?
Yeah.
What campaigns were
Wow.
For a
bad?
casual experience?
I feel like we said
I
that
played
again
little, dude.
every
I'm a
game.
gamer, all right.
But that's
We
already
just
that's already a failing though. Like if Halo 4 is like designed to and it only works for a casual multiplayer, like that Halo has always been flexible. Like it could be competitive as hell and casual. Like if it's not competitive, then it's already failed,
I
If
played
it can't do it. Dev Pro with the ball, thank you.
I think it's supposed to be the best part of it.
the feel of the game just doesn't feel like Halo.
Oh no.
Like
Halo
loadouts.
5?
Dude, it
no,
felt like
just
a
Halo
Call of
4
Duty
compared
to
Halo
Halo.
loadout.
Yeah.
It's like COD.
Yeah.
You had to pick your loadouts.
Yeah.
Do like
Like
pocket
class.
bolt
Have
shots.
to do that.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Pocket bolt shots. It
Forgot about
just
that.
Bolt shots.
Spawn with a thruster.
yeah. No D scope.
The no
That's
D-scope
the
was a
worst.
big
That's like
thing.
my
That
number
was
one
so
right there.
Yeah, that
That wasn't
was
very
definitely
Halo.
just bad.
So
Sound
for
effects.
Sound effects were terrible, dude. The sound
He
effects.
just doesn't lose any battles, so he loved it.
I loved it.
They did the
But, like, I knew
BR
it was
dirty in that
horrible.
game.
Yeah, dude, it was
Like,
like
it
a
sounded
square
just-
reticle. It was like a square. It was like,
And the sound effect, it sounded like
just
they're just like
Sounds so
scratching
cheesy.
metal.
What the fuck is this? Yeah, I'm like, I'm just gonna try to get the snipe because this thing's
Yeah.
like, I'm like,
How about the most broken mechanic of all might have been the oddball. Remember the oddball?
God.
You could
Oh,
throw it
you
across
throw
the
it?
entire map.
Yeah.
It was literally like somebody came in after a bad night of drinking. It was like, how cool would it be if you could throw the oddball the
Just
entire
chuck
map?
It's like, yeah, take
No.
that dial,
Every
yeah,
idea
just
that
like
they
just
wanted,
max.
they just
I've never
Chuck
seen
the
a
ball.
mechanic more abused by a player than Ryan Noob.
Dude.
That was
Yeah.
probably his.
He
Like
loved
the
it.
most abusable
Dude.
mechanic that he's ever done.
He probably loved that because the way they played the game.
I remember when they showcased the oddball throw, the crowd was like freaking out. Like I remember it was like E3 or something, and that was like a new feature of Halo 4. It was like I don't know, was it E3 or like Rooster Teeth Expo or something? And they threw the ball, and everybody was like, "Oh, sick!" Like it was some big innovation. Like from the casual side, there was maybe some cool ideas with this game, but there was just so many mistakes. Just so many just awkward changes in direction just for the sake of it, right? Like the lack of D-scope, like why? Why just go? It just felt like they were trying too hard to like lean into like every other popular FPS trope all at the same time, and then not really executing well on that either. Like the always on sprint, right? Like I'm actually a fan of sprint in Halo 5, Halo Infinite, but in Halo 4, it was so bad, dude. They didn't make any balancing changes from Halo Reach. It was like you would press the button and instantly hit like top speed, very little slow. I don't think there was any stopping power on it either. I'm not sure, but and the biggest issue was the amount of time it took to shoot at a sprint too. So you just basically have this like you press this button for like quick traversal, but then you can't actually shoot out of the sprint. So like once you get into combat, it's the same Halo combat in the end. Like the sprint wasn't changing combat. It wasn't giving you outplay options. It was just like get to point A from point A to point B faster and run away from gunfights. Like you couldn't use it as part of a fight in any like productive way. It was just even harping like, and that's just like one small component, right? The graphics, the audio, like the sound cues, like everything that they changed was like, it was like they were changing it just to change it, and it was like a totally different game in the end. I think it did. Yeah, Sprint felt terrible. I think it did have some skill gap to it though that was probably overlooked. Like they were saying, like maybe the sniper had like a skill gap. Spring jumping is in that game, by the way, too, and I don't think anybody ever really took advantage of it because maybe like people didn't really invest a lot of time into Halo 4 competitive, but there's spring jumping and it's like super consistent. It's even more consistent than H5. So I think it would have been interesting to see how it might have impacted the game like down the line if people like actually put time in and like found the right settings with like the right types of abilities and whatnot. Like I hated the thrust in that game. Maybe the jetpack, I don't know. The jetpack's just kind of free, right? Haven was solid. Oh, dude. But I have like nightmares playing online multiplayer in Halo 4 and just Haven every single time, dude. Matchmaking, and people would veto for Haven. Every single time it would just be Haven, Slayer, Haven, oddball, whatever. And I just got so tired of it. Like that's all I played. It was like the one decent map. And then I'm just getting it shoved down my throat the whole day. Didn't have a rank playlist? Yeah, I think it took a while to get going there too, maybe. But it just felt like that was the point where it felt like Halo really lost its sense of direction. I think that's more so, like 343 coming in, a new studio. How do we take this? Like, how do we make this our own, right? Maybe that was their objective, but like it just completely like, they just doubled down on everything that the community was saying they didn't like about the game. It was like, campaign-wise, I thought the campaign was good, I guess. I don't, like, I know some people like tout the campaign as like the best of all time, or, it was, maybe like the story was like, more gratifying or something. It was like a deeper story behind Chief. You got to see more of Chief as like a character or like, I don't know. I didn't follow it too closely. H4 did not really stick out in my memory as like a campaign, the campaign to remember. Like Halo 3's campaign had much more of an impression on me.
Didn't even get killed.
It was moving and emotional. Okay, fair enough, Penguin. So you know what? I didn't invest a lot of time into the storyline of it. I'm more of like, I skip the cutscenes a lot of the time. I get right to the action. So, maybe there's a big component there that I can't appreciate, but
over and over again.
That would be like the one redeeming quality, I think, with this game is like, and it did have a lot of content, right? Like, I think once again, it's like down the line, it was a full featured game. It was like from the video game perspective, it did its job admirably. It's AAA, but as a Halo game, it's just in all categories, it's just like, just not what you want.
Too crazy.
It was not a good mechanic.
We beat them. I think Brad was on. Remember we beat them and like we all had like 60 kills.
Yeah.
Like,
the
and it
Chicago
was just a
event.
Wait, so he's talking about this oddball thing.
Ball over and over. Probably loved that shit. Because the way they played the game, they didn't even get kills.
No.
They would just throw the ball over and over again,
keep
like
away.
around the map. Yeah. And you could do that. And
Oh, what?
Like, dude,
Crazy.
I didn't watch Halo 4
It
comp.
was not a good mechanic.
We beat them. I think Brad was on the remember we beat them and like we all had like 60 kills.
Yeah.
Like
the
and
Chicago
it was just a
event.
bloodbath. Like, we had to go
We
through
smacked
hordes
them.
and hordes and hordes of people, and like we won by like 5.
What?
They were all like neg like 30.
There's that one like symmetrical map. I don't even know what it was called. I don't know what any maps were called.
OS top middle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dispatch.
Dispatch.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, dude, oh my god, you just took across the map and you said,
Hey, Silverback
dude, god damn it, Ryan. It's so annoying, dude.
delivered on the $60. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Did you guys watch competitive H4? Because I totally missed that. It does remind me though that Formal was like a big part of competitive Halo all the way through Halo 4 and even in the beginning of Halo 5, right? Like I swear I remember Formal even like maybe, I don't know if he was competing, but he was still kind of hanging on maybe at the very start. He was like transitioning to COD right when Halo 5 came out or something.
I mean, that game's horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
Putting
5,
Halo Wars
like,
over ODST? Oh crap! Yeah, I guess they moved it to C tier. Now I completely disagree. I think that's wrong. I thought they left it in B tier. I made an argument earlier that it should have been A tier personally, just off of like the fact that it executed so well on what it offered, even though it didn't offer like the full game that you'd expect, from a different Halo title. But yeah, I would have said like low A tier or high B.
All right, these are tough ones.
Yeah, these are the tough ones.
They did it
Halo 5
dirty.
has to be an A or B.
Halo 4 wasn't even a Halo.
I don't know.
I think it's
Dude,
hard to
Halo
put
5
in
was
an A,
so much
but
fun.
Like multiplayer, I think
Halo 5 is a
actually
tough one.
Really solid. But like it has so many problems.
yeah, I
man.
think that's the
Had heavy
thing.
aim,
Yeah.
I mean, heavy aim, like slow turn was just so bad. Like
That's true.
They have
Yeah,
to
I don't think he
play
played
well.
H5
Something about, like,
competitively. He
multiplayer.
played it
every
like
other Halo
early
was
when it first
something
came
the
out,
same
but I don't think he
FOV
ever
even,
competed.
But like something about Halo 5 just feels bad. I feel like it's because of how fast it is. I know it feels even lower than like every other.
Thank you,
Halo.
Alex.
I think it's just because everyone moves so fast. But the game itself was still like solid.
What about the
fun.
maps? I feel like the maps were
pretty good.
Maps
I
are
think.
pretty solid.
I think the maps were good.
I think the maps are
like from what I've seen.
Maps
the
are good in Halo 5.
yeah.
Really
Forge
good.
was crazy in that game.
It was Forge in Halo 5.
Yeah, it's wild. Forge was
we
We
People
didn't
made
play
some
on
really
the
badass
Forge
maps.
maps.
Forge
Yeah,
was
it-
insane.
By the end of H5, we played on 2 Forge maps or
What were
3.
they?
They weren't that good.
Oh,
It was-
same.
yeah, it was,
that was
uh,
towards the end of when I
it was
was
called
playing.
Refuge.
Fissure and Echelon.
Yeah, it's called
it was like
Refuge,
a
and
tan map,
then
though, right?
there was Echelon,
Tan
and there was
that I was playing.
what was
That's
so
that one blue
oh,
map.
I can't remember.
How do they
what
not
that was.
remember
I
though?
don't even remember
Yeah, it
what
was
it's
2
called.
oddball maps.
Dude, this is so
Echelon
it's
had
so
developed
wild to
on
me.
it. Yeah.
I've seen that before.
It's so wild that Trippy and Lucid are blanking on the name of them. I mean, maybe it's not that. I just like when you think of the playtime that these guys have. Like, how do you not know? Like, I've watched so many Lucid streams. This dude has put more stream time and played at the top level for longer than like almost any Halo 5 players. It's just wild. It's interesting to hear their perspective though too, because it's like I think Lucid comes off. Let's hear what he says, but he's like kind of like he liked it, but like I think he was like maybe leaning towards
So
B.
troll.
It's
It
so
was-
bad. It's pretty
yeah,
bad.
they were
Oh
both
my
pretty
God, that
bad.
looks so
They were
trolly.
not that great, but still.
Can you explain heavy aim? Heavy aim is like I don't even know. It's basically just like a latency when you move your right stick. There's like a latency where it feels like your reticle is not reacting as quickly as it should to your movements, basically, right? So if you're playing, pretty much any other video game, it's going to be more 1-to-1 when you move the stick. Something about Halo 5 and the way it was designed, like there's an built-in like latency when you move the right stick. It doesn't react as fast as normal as it should, and it's like not consistent either. It felt like it was tied to server almost. Like the worse your internet connection, the slower, the heavier your aimer felt to move around in some cases. Nowadays, like the standard is like we're on like 1 millisecond now, right? Like you go to PC, overclock your controller, and like everything is like super, swift and responsive. Halo 5, like you would fight against that, and then there was like slow turn at times too, when it just like the reticle would just not listen to you. So people are saying like they all had like sense crises, right?
It was
That was towards the end of when I
It
was
was called
playing.
Refuge.
Yeah,
it's called Refuge. And
Quintessential.
then
This
there's
isn't
Echelon.
Halo. So Halo 5 went and they doubled down. They're like, we're gonna take the advanced mobility concept and like this kind of change in direction in Halo, and we're gonna full invest in our vision behind that. And then they, in a way, they did kind of they brought back a lot of the components, though, I think, of Halo that you would expect. Like the even starts came back, the power weapon control, like the concept, like the fighting for power. It's like very similar to like a Halo 2, right? Like you just had your power weapons that you fight for, you had your OS and your camo and even starts. But then the advanced mobility side, they went full double down, full investment into it. And the result was a very different experience, but an incredible one, in my opinion. As somebody who took the time to understand and play it at like a pretty high level, I loved Halo 5's gameplay. Like it's different, but it's rock solid. Because they went and you know, they took their own way with it, but they did it well, I think. It took time to get there, though. Like, at first when the game came out, it wasn't. Mirko with the vault, thank you.
Echelon had the Pelican on it. Yeah.
I've seen it before. It looks so.
You're right.
troll.
It's
It
so
was.
bad.
It's pretty. Yeah, they were both pretty bad.
Yeah, it was a huge game.
They were not that great, but still like the Forge maps.
Spartan Power
Fisher
Fantasy, hell yeah.
That
I feel
was
like,
terrible.
Yeah.
That was
That was. I think that ended up being worse somehow.
Fissure?
For Oddball. It was just weird.
I didn't
but,
mind Fissure.
Like Halo 5 had a lot going for it.
Yeah, I feel like if it was
Every
on
aspect
PC,
besides the
if
campaign.
Halo 5 was on PC, I feel like it could have been a godlike Halo.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a really godlike Halo.
Yes, it still can be.
Good, like,
Heavy aim missiles watches.
Halo 5 can still be a godlike
Yeah, it
Halo on
literally made you
PC.
Psychotic.
Yeah.
Really?
It was terrible, bro. It felt
You had
like
to
you were
dig
playing
deep.
quick.
Literally, like no
Heavy
person
aim?
would stay in
Yeah.
the same sense, like for the wrong reasons, like
The
every
fuck?
day.
It
Because
just felt terrible.
There
Yeah,
was
I
some
guess.
sense crises all the time in that
I did like the
game.
pistol. The pistol looked like pretty hard to use.
Pistol's sick.
and along with heavy aim,
Pistol
that's
was
probably-
fun.
Definitely
Yeah, I
a
love the
pretty good
pistol.
skill gap,
Pistol
I
was
think,
really
with the
solid.
pistol.
H5 pistol, one of the best weapons across the Halo franchise to date, in my opinion. Like it obviously there wasn't much else in Halo 5 that could really compare. Like, so, you know, like a lot of the weapons were kind of samey. Like you had like the pistol, the DMR, the light rifle, the car. They're all kind of like very similar. But the pistol itself was like the difficulty required to wield it and the satisfaction that you got from hitting like a clean 5-shot and reading your opponent's movement too, because the movement was so complicated. Like if you could read a thrust and like whip the 5th shot and get that final headshot for the perfect, like there's few things in video games that can match my level of satisfaction from like a clean perfect kill. Like the Magnum is a sick weapon. By like it I don't know, it made the game. Like that and the movement made the game, but that is just a small component of if we're analyzing this on like an overall package, that's obviously like a very small part of it. But anyway,
Movement especially.
I think
what
I
would
think
you
it
guys
has to
start, like,
be
I'd say A.
with CE.
I mean,
I would say Halo
consider
5 is
A
probably
front
A
of
tier
Reach.
as well.
it's better than
Halo
Reach.
1.
No,
I'd
I would say it's
definitely
better
in
than Reach.
front of Reach.
Overall.
I
or
think it's
behind Halo
definitely
1.
better than Reach.
Yeah,
It's
I
definitely
agree.
better than Reach.
Better than
So
Reach.
I would put it in
Halo
front of Halo
1,
CE,
probably behind
maybe.
Halo,
I could see that.
Up here.
I'd probably get hate for
I
that.
can see that.
I'm a big fan of like
Infinite.
the multiplayer.
Yes.
Infinite has the potential.
It's probably Halo C is probably fair where it is, because there was so much. It took a long time to get to that perfect level, right? Like competitive for 2 years was what? AR starts, radar for 2 years, competitive. That was a problem. Shurzy, how's it going? Welcome, my dude. I don't know. But then so like campaign. Actually, interesting story for. What did you guys think of Halo 5's campaign? By the way, because my opinion, I didn't mind. So the story on Halo 5's campaign was bad, right? It was like a terrible Michael Bay movie or something with just like, you know, flashy explosions and like a story that just you couldn't follow. But the gameplay itself was like just straight up Spartan power fantasy, and it was fun. It was like enjoyable. Like, so when I used to work at Microsoft, at a Microsoft store, for example, and I worked there in like 2017 holiday. And that was when the Xbox One X came out. And the big feature with the One X was 4K Halo 5. Like they wanted to showcase 4K Halo 5. So as part of my job, I had to play Halo 5 campaign on the big TV outside the store and try to like, you know, get people interested and like ask questions about the game and learn about it. And thank you for the follows. Anyway, so I would play it and I would like speed run it and just try to like go as hard as possible. Thank you, Andre. And it was fun from that perspective. Like if you're trying to just like speed run the game and like do it in style and just like, you know, use the thrust and ground pound all the movement to like outplay all the grunts and the elites and just like go wild, you could go crazy in that game. Like it was such a power fantasy and just speed through the levels, especially if you played the non-patched version of the game where you could super slide. Like if you watch speedrunners play Halo 5, it is one of the most entertaining speedruns you'll watch in like any game, because there's so many sick mechanics that you can use to like just skip massive portions of the map and just like outplay, you know, your opponents. So like from a pure fun standpoint, I enjoyed it. I would play the hell out of it in front of the store and people would come by and like ask. They thought it was Destiny. they'd be like, is this Destiny? Is this Overwatch? Because like nobody, because it doesn't look like, doesn't really look like a Halo game, but it was fun. It was just fun. Like slide down the map, baby. And I think it's fair to say that it's A, but I think when you go straight to like competitive multiplayer, it's hard for me to not put it like, I would put it S tier competitive multiplayer, 100%. Like it might even be like, and this is where the big argument comes in, but I'd argue that it could be the best competitive multiplayer of all time. Outside of that, A, you know, it's just, it doesn't have all the same content or like it didn't grab, you know, the community in the same way. It just is not like, yeah, it doesn't deserve that like S tier moniker overall.
Potential, I feel like, to be S tier right now, but just in the state of.
If you care about the story,
me, yeah,
it's bad. If you don't, so if you don't care about the story, it's fun. I had fun. It was a fun romp through whatever, you know, the Covenant, all the different enemies and whatnot. Like just because the mechanics are so satisfying, especially when you understand them. Like Halo 5 is one of those games that is honestly, it feels clunky until you have like 6 buttons on the bottom of your controller and like the perfect control scheme, and you put hours into the mechanics to the point where you can do it like the back of your hand, and then the game is so satisfying. But if you don't have that and you're just like your average Joe picking up a controller and like trying to figure out how to like thrust and ground pound and stabilize, it's not a very intuitive game. Like it's like kind of feels clunky, it feels like kind of awkward to control because there's so much. It's like overwhelming. But when you can like master it to the point where it's just like casual muscle memory, then the game is such a power fantasy. Like it's just, you have so much control over your every move. So it's in that weird spot where you have to like invest in it to appreciate it. And because of that, it's like that's a big part of the reason why it wasn't really appreciated, because people didn't even want to put the time in to fully understand it.
Just throw it behind ODST, just so hopefully some people who see
Halo 5 gameplay is so pissed. It's
like,
if you
honestly
don't,
where
if you
it is
looked,
right
man,
now.
you
It's
just
behind
didn't give it the
OT,
chance that
Halo
it deserved.
Infinite
That's it.
It has the potential to be here, but we're down.
Oh wait, this is Infinite.
Hopefully,
But just in the state of the game.
It's
right
up
Do I
there
work
for
in
me,
sales?
yeah.
I used to work in just your standard like store associate. Like I would just I'd sell the PCs and Xbox and all that. Just your standard sales associate.
behind ODST, just so hopefully some people.
But that was a few years ago.
Because like that's honestly where it is right now. It's
The
behind
OpTic team
ODST.
put Halo Infinite where?
It has the potential to be here, but we're down.
I agree, Shadow.
Somewhere in
there.
here.
I feel like
Yeah, you're
I think
literally
right now,
right
isn't
there.
it better than Reach right now though?
No, you don't think?
I think
I
they-
could play Halo Reach.
Multiplayer's better.
I think
I
the,
actually could.
Multiplayer's
I
better.
think the
Actually
gameplay
good, but I did.
is up
I
there.
I was about to
with
say you were
Reach.
playing.
Fiesta, though.
You were playing
No,
Halo
no, actually,
Infinite,
I like the gameplay
matchmaking
more
all
than
day for
The
a little
gameplay,
while,
the
though.
gameplay's
was
better.
until I'm not gonna give him a shout out, but like it's not a fun experience, and it's every day. So yeah,
True.
I mean, my experience.
Anybody know what he's talking about? Formal here? Is he talking about like a hacker or something?
I think
I
the,
actually could.
I think the gameplay
But I did.
is up
I was
there
about to
with
say you were
Reach.
playing.
Fiesta, though.
You were playing
No,
Halo
no, actually,
Infinite,
I like the gameplay more
matchmaking
than
all day
Reach.
for a little while though.
I was until I'm not gonna give him a shout out, but like it's not a fun experience, and it's every day. So yeah,
True.
I mean, my
Cheaters? He's talking about
experience-
cheaters,
But
right?
all
Yeah, I thought
let's
so.
put it this way though. Let's put it this way. Let's talk. Let's
You get stream
just think
sniped?
about
Oh,
only
okay,
the
okay.
Gameplay and like what the game has. Don't think about anything else.
Well, because
I
the
still
campaign,
think it's
the
because of-
campaign
because
was
of all the
pretty
OP guns,
good
like the
too, right?
Mangler.
Say that again.
The campaign for Infinite
Apparently
was
the
pretty
campaign's
solid,
really
right?
good.
I didn't play
Or
it.
I
I-
heard the campaign.
I've heard
It's
really
good.
solid.
I didn't finish it.
I've heard
I
feel
should
like it
finish
has to
it.
be
I should
beat.
actually play the
I think
campaign
it's gotta
again.
be beat as well.
It needs
Yeah.
way more
Have fun, throw it in
content.
B, throw it in
We
B.
don't even have like the full
Still
game
mad
right
at you.
now.
I was about to say,
That's sad part.
like, so that's the thing is like, it's like the game's where it's at right now because of circumstances. Like this game could literally, like you said, it could be S because it could have had Forge or a better working theater and like
Yeah.
more playlists, custom games just being better. Should be like S probably.
It has the potential to be there for
But
sure.
like
I think
the fact that there's
the game is good.
problem after problem after problem that hasn't really been addressed yet, it's like that's kind of where I
I'm
think
just
our
thankful
minds are
there's no
at.
heavy aim. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I mean the
Mhm.
fact that
Well,
the game
there's
just feels pretty
there's
solid
no
to
aim
move around
assist
and shoot,
sometimes for
but-
you though.
Block up.
So I mean,
Start the
for
game.
the,
I do love the fact that they're all like agreed on the fact that like the gameplay is good. The core gameplay in this game is good, and it's something that I think is like pretty much universally agreed upon. Like, yeah, there are some purists in like the classic side and purists in like Halo 5 who are like, you know, it's not this, it's not that, whatever. But like for the most part, the consensus is like the gameplay here is good, and that's something that I haven't heard from like top pros in the scene for such a long time, honestly. Like hearing Lunchbox just say straight up, just say because the game is good. Like I swear he would never say that about Halo 5 when it was in its prime. Like I'm pretty sure Lunch and Roy, maybe they enjoyed it a bit, but it definitely wasn't like their cup of tea, you know? Those who don't believe, go watch Shyway's movement video for Halo 5. Yeah, Halo 5, man, you put the time into Halo 5 and it is beautiful. It's a beautiful freaking game, okay? There's nothing like Halo 5, just like there was nothing like Halo 2. That's why it's interesting to see some of the Halo 2 fans who like are hardcore Halo 2 fans, like Halo 2 is the best game ever, no other Halo can touch it. Those people exist. They despise Halo 5, but Halo 5 is like modern Halo 2. It's got super deep mechanics, and those mechanics adversely affect competitive multiplayer. If you put the time in, like you can become a total demon in that game, just like you could in Halo 2. It's just a different style. The mechanics are in the movement and not in the shooting. Like, but as somebody who loved H2 as a kid and kind of grew to appreciate Halo 5, down the line, there's so many like similarities in kind of how they work at that high level. Like you have to put this grind time into the mechanics and like perfecting that craft to get that little edge. Kind of like Melee is a good example as well. Like they're such deep games mechanically. So you'd think that the H2 fan would appreciate H5 because outside of that, it's just like your standard Halo, right? Like you've got your power weapons, your even starts, and your OS, and like your standard, like everything else is just, straight up Halo rule set. Oh, dude, the menu system is terrible in Halo 5. That's a good point. The menu system is a skill gap in itself. If you play Halo 5 and or if you haven't played Halo 5, the menus are weird, man. Like if you take certain routes through the menu system, you can like freeze up or like ruin, like basically you can't access anything anymore. If you back out too many times in like a certain way, like there's certain snags you get caught in with the menu system in Halo 5. It's terrible. It was a skill gap, like, because it was consistent. So I would know the situations where I would break the menu. So I would find ways to navigate around it. Like that was like a skill gap in the game so that you don't break the menu. Which would I say had the best ranking system? I mean, yeah, like I think H3 and H2 definitely like up there at the top for sure. I will say I like Halo 5's champion rank a lot though. I think like the champion rank was very competitive and you had to like still play the game to hold champion rank. Like if you didn't keep up with the game, then like your champ would disappear. So like I like that aspect of the Halo 5 ranking system, but like everything else is, whatever. I think Halo 2 was like really cool because it was kind of unprecedented for its time. And it was really straightforward too, just like 1 to 50. And there's always like that sense of progression to like that next level. The new modern systems aren't as like straightforward. Progressions, yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, Corbin, for sure. That's a big miss right now. They need like just a standard level system. Like it's a shame that we don't have it. Every Halo. Oh, good point, Shadow. I forgot about that. No split screen in Halo 5. See, that's the thing is like all those little elements means it can never be an S tier game. Like Halo 5 cannot achieve S tier overall ever because it's missing certain core components, and that's why like I think it's fair to say it's an A. But if we're going strictly like competitive multiplayer, it's up there. And I think it could come back too. I think if they put it on PC, like optimized, I think that it could spawn its own community. Plasma with the ball. Thank you.
So I feel like it has to be B.
Because the gameplay is so rock solid in H5, and there's never going to be another Halo like it.
So we're saying Halo 5 is better than Infinite?
Probably, yeah.
Halo 5 was more content.
That's the thing. For the full package, though, a lot of people would...
I think for
From
raw
our
gameplay,
perspective,
it is better than Halo 5.
I feel like Halo 5,
But
by the end of Halo 5, like early game Halo 5, I hate that. Like
That's true. We were playing.
H5 was
We were
bad.
playing with assault weapons,
2 years.
radar
That's
for
so
2
for
years.
2
It
years.
was it was bad. Yeah, it's like
It was
Oh my
So that's the
God,
thing. It's
so
like
faded.
multiplayer wise, like
Hard
Infinite's
charge.
I think lacking. I think like my opinion at least has like shifted to like not appreciating Infinite as much just because we're months in and nothing's really gotten better.
yeah.
I mean Halo 5 had those problems too, but it's like we're comparing the end of H5 to like what.
But
Right,
even H5 had significantly more content on launch and had multiple updates at this point, right? Like I think we had like a December like content, injection or whatever, and then like another one came out like shortly after in the next year, and patches too. Like I remember it took all of like 2 months to patch the super slide out of the game. Like that thing was crazy, but probably too powerful too, right? So they took that out like very early on. And they had new content and new maps, like bam, like a few months in. And even that was slow for its time, right? Like even that I remember because they were very rigid in like they had like a plan for the content that they would release, and they couldn't like maneuver around. Like there would be other issues that would, thank you Plasma, by the way, there'd be other issues that would come up with the game in the meantime. Like for example, you could take a sticky nade and like take it off your body by like walking into a wall, which was one issue. And those issues took longer to fix than like their other planned content. Like they couldn't pivot around what they already had coming out. And that was like a big issue. And it's just a shame that Infinite is like, by all standards, it is a downgrade somehow. Like, what the heck?
Right
if
now.
you compare the beginning of Infinite to the beginning of H5, I like Infinite.
It had like, yeah, every 2-3 months it had
more.
content drops.
Yeah, way more.
Than Halo 5, just because AR's radar that was
Yeah.
not great for me. For
Right.
me anyways.
That's a pretty good list, though.
Yeah, I think it's
pretty
solid.
solid.
It's pretty solid.
I don't think
Saw this. Yeah. So I agree with their take on Infinite as well. I think that Infinite is what's sick about the game is that the gameplay is solid and the potential, it has S tier potential. This game could jump to S tier in a way that maybe no other Halo could potentially. Like if they get the content together, they get that upgraded Forge, like they already have some of those other, like they the gameplay's in it. Anyway, I'm being redundant at this point. You guys get it. The potential is freaking awesome for this game. It could be S tier, 100%. It just needs content, needs support. I'm doing good, Angel. How you doing? Just wrapping up this OpTic video. And anyway, that just, it gives me faith, It gives me faith that despite the tough times we've got now and the tough times we got ahead of us, that at some point when things finally get rolling, this community overnight can bounce back. Halo 5 never had that capability for so many reasons. Like people were disagreed on the gameplay and the direction of the gameplay, but even more so, it was limited to Xbox. Like you had to have an Xbox and you had to buy it to play it. On PC, like it's free to play. Anybody can access it. You can just download it once again, just overnight, right? Like the streamers can pick it up and it can just go right back into relevance immediately with the right content. So, and it's not like 343 is just going to ditch the game or Microsoft's just going to be like, yeah, let's stop supporting our biggest exclusive franchise. Like there's a TV show out for Halo right now. Like there's no way there's not going to be more money and more resources pumped into this to bring it back.
You're not going to ruffle many feathers.
What's up,
with this
Swag?
one. It's fairly.
People are going to look at H5 and be like, no, not
Think
Halo
it should be
5.
lower?
I can picture Bound tweeting this right now.
Yeah.
Being like it's S tier for sure. They just don't know what they're talking
Anybody
about.
that thinks Halo 5
No.
is S tier
I
didn't
was-
play during the golden years. Or
That's the
didn't play any
thing.
of
Like
those-
most
those
people are going to
those
look at Halo
games.
5 on A and be like, no, it should be D or C. People are going to
I
say
guess
that.
I don't know what the general consensus on Halo
How the
5
spawn
people would rate it.
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
weapons
I've
work?
seen Bound think it's a S tier Halo. for
Well, I
sure.
mean, they're
For
biased.
sure. I think they're biased though, because I feel like their Halo 2 Halo 3
Frosty
experience
was
wasn't the same
incredible
one
at
I
Halo
had.
5. So.
Yeah. I mean, their Halo 2.
3-4 take
experience
too
is
long to
more
fix the
like
issue. Yeah, they're taking
Halo
too
5
long is a big issue.
essentially.
MCC
Yeah.
took forever.
Some
Yeah.
of the younger players too.
Yeah. But my hope though is that, so like we obviously don't know like the root cause, like the problem here. We have like speculation, all the Glassdoor reviews and stuff, and people saying that like maybe they hired a bunch of contractors to like kind of very quickly make the game and make the engine, whatever, and then they got rid of them, and now that they're left with like a much smaller group of people working on the game, maybe those people aren't well equipped or don't really understand what was like rushed to be created. They got like new employees coming in who don't know anything, need to be like kind of trained from from scratch. I don't know. Like, I don't really know how these engines work, but like my hope is that like once things get going, then they'll speed up quickly, ideally, especially when Forge drops. Like if Forge is like content, like a full experience, like they got a complete Forge for the most part, when that drops, like there's no way that tons of content doesn't just like blow up from that, so shout out to my bro APG. Yeah, this whole team, dude. I love this whole OpTic team. And honestly, watching videos like this makes me want to root for them like more in the esports tournaments and stuff coming up. I hope they do more.